Now, with our first look at the AccuWeather forecast. Raegan,
welcome. Yeah, she's back. All right. Yeah, ladies, we have a really wild weather day. Not so much for the beginning of the day, but the end of the day, overnight into tomorrow morning. Let's get right to it, my friends. Okay, Central Park, we are reading 47 degrees. A bit mild to start. We have some warm air heading up from the south. Along with that warm air, we also have the rain and those gusty winds. Okay, so let's take a look, not only here in Central Park, but also Yankee Stadium. We're at 46 degrees waking up. We're at 49 in Graves and Brooklyn. And then when we expand the map, we're also going to be flirting with 50-degree temperatures this morning. So the headlines today, we're looking at clouds to start with morning drizzle, heavier rain later. We're likely going to have that heavier rain ramp up around lunchtime and into the overnight hours into the morning commute, making it very messy. We're looking at some issues with coastal flooding, street flooding, and of course those basement apartments as well. Satellite radar showing that we have that low pressure system in the south. That's in Florida. That's the rainmaker meeting up with this frontal system. When they merge together, it's amplifying all of that rainfall. The futurecast by noon, we're going to start seeing that rain start ramping up, picking up. Overnight hours Monday at 3 in the morning, we are really going to see that heavy downfall. 1 to 2 inches of rainfall an hour is potential. The totals 2 to 4. I'll have much more details later on in the broadcast. Guys, back to you.
Oh, good to have you, Raegan. Thank you so much. Well, it's the last day of...
Hey, Raegan.
That's right. We got those big dogs, barking it up this morning. We have Freddie via George. Freddie's dressed for the occasion for Christmas, might we add. And then we have Lily via D. And, of course, Lily's in front of the Christmas tree. Bright blue lights all over. And then Bruno looks absolutely thrilled to be dressed up as a reindeer. Okay, let's take a look at throughout the day. We're going to start off with those cloudy conditions, a couple of spotty, patchy, drizzly points, and then by lunchtime, we're going to start seeing that rain pick up, and then it will ramp up even greater throughout the evening hours overnight. So you can imagine it's going to be a very messy morning commute. The rainfall rates anywhere between 1 to 2 inches an hour, so we're looking for those flooding concerns, not only in the streets, the subways, and of course, along the coast. Of course, I will be timing all of this out for you after this commercial break.
We don't know yet about you, Raegan, but we think maybe.
No, I am.
You seem like a good egg.
Yeah, no, I'm an animal rights advocate. Good. I love my animals. Grew up with a lot of them. I mean, they weren't my siblings, but you know what I mean. Yes. Anyway, yes. So we got Big Dog Sunday. I mean, they are our fur friends, our fur family, right? So we have Chi-Chi and Hank. Oh, the Hank the Tank via Steve. Look at that. They're celebrating the Christmas spirit there. So is Brandy. Oh, yeah, and got a little nutcracker in the back there. Very, very apropos for the season. And then we have Walter. Oh, Walter. The Walter looks a little chilly, but at least Walter's got a little something on the top, a little nice little suit going on there. Okay, so let's look at our day throughout the day. So we're going to start out with some clouds, some patchy drizzle throughout the morning. In the early afternoon, by lunchtime, that's when we'll start seeing the rain. Grab the umbrella, but make sure you hold on it tight because by the evening, we're going to start seeing those winds starting to ramp up too. We have a double trouble here. We have two punches. We got the rain and the wind, and then, of course, those flooding concerns as well. Overnight is the bulk of the action. Of course, I'll time this all out after this commercial break.
No, what's going on?
How fabulous is Raegan, right?
Great.
Yes.
We are so lucky to have her. Jeff and I have been calling her our Christmas miracle because she's the reason we get to spend time with our families over the holidays. And it was good that we got to kind of throw her in the mix today because we need all the help we can get with a storm like this. But I wasn't going to not be in on the action when we have a storm like this coming. So 47 degrees right now and a cloudy and gray start to our Sunday morning. But this really is the calm before the storm. That cloud cover helping to lock in a little warmth, which means we're in the mid to upper 40s. A mild start to what will end up being a mild day in general. We're talking highs about 10 above normal, but no one is focused on the temperature when we have this kind of rain on the way. So we have this front and then this area of low pressure that brought so much heavy rain to the Florida Peninsula yesterday. It's lifting north as this front nudges it east, which means that storm track takes it right up the east coast and brings us that heavy rain. So let's time this out. We start with a cloudy sky and drizzle this morning. Then we move into this afternoon where I'd call it more scattered action. It's overnight into tomorrow morning that the bulk of this heavy rain and this really gusty wind sweeps across the tri-state. It lingers through the start of Monday morning, and then we trend drier for the second half of Monday. But unfortunately, when we're looking at the brunt of this between midnight and 6 a.m., it means the worst of the conditions are happening right ahead of the morning commute, which means it is going to be messy. We're looking at expected rainfall totals 2 to 4 inches with the brunt midnight to 6 a.m., but we could see rainfall rates about an inch or two per hour, which means, yeah, The threat for flooding is certainly there. We're looking at street, urban flooding being a possibility, as well as some coastal flooding. And then we got to talk the wind. Most of the area gusts are going to be between 40 and 50, but there will be some areas close to the coastline as well as eastern Long Island that gusts are up to 60 miles per hour, which does bring in the potential for wind-related damage and power outages, especially on saturated ground. Again, it doesn't take much for trees to topple, and that can lead to power outages. So it's going to be a really, really messy late Sunday night into Monday morning. But you see, it's a slow and steady climb to get those rain chances. So we do have a few more dry hours, just drizzly and gray. I'll have the expected totals, the exact timing for you, and everything you need to know about the storm threats in AccuWeather coming up. Michelle?
All right. Good day to get out. And
of course I have some big dogs. I think we all need some big dogs this morning, right? We've got Romeo and Juliet. I mean, how darling are they in their little Santa outfits? Are you kidding? So cute. Then we have Leia here, who looks very proud to be wearing such a cute hat in front of the tree. I thought that was darling. And then we have Rocky posing in his Christmas sweater from Dawn in front of the tree. I've really loved seeing all the pups and all the kittens and cats in their Christmas best and all their holiday best. As we move into today, big weather stories, the big storm coming, an impactful storm system. This is moving in second half of your Sunday with the heaviest rain and the gustiest wind taking us overnight into tomorrow morning, which means big impacts for that Monday morning commute, the kind of weather you need to know about before you head to bed tonight. I'll time out those storm threats coming up in AccuWeather after the break.
I'll vote for that.
This one is really wonderful. You got to keep Michelle's mic open because we
baby.
Precious. And listen, I know that it's a Nepo dog. I get that. We've got a lot of dogs across the tri-state we want to share. But with a name like Precious and a sweater like that, how do I not put Precious on?
Baby.
Michelle, tell the story about Precious' name.
So Isabel was 6 years old, my daughter, and she asked for a dog every day of her life. And this is how she spelled Precious in her journal. And she would write us notes. She's a little girl, so she misspelled Precious. So we kept the misspelling. You can go back to Dani.
Amazing.
All right, I'll take it from here.
It's so cute.
But I mean, on a day like today, it's gloomy outside. I felt like we needed some excitement, right? And Precious did it for us, as is Murphy Bear from Tatiana. So cute. I think Bear is a very appropriate name for Murphy Bear. Gizmo and Cannoli, darling in their Santa suits as well. So Lynette, thank you for sharing. Today, we're starting calm and gloomy, but there is an impactful storm on the way for tonight. We're talking drenching downpours that can lead to flooding and the kind of gusty wind that can produce damage as well. There's so much to talk about in the AccuWeather forecast. I'll time it out and let you know storm threats in your area coming up after the break.
I don't know. First is Big Dog Sunday. Then we'll check back with Centacom folks, see if they were nice.
Behave.
Oh, that these good boys and girls were nice, right? There's just no question. This is Rebel posing under the tree in Rebel's Christmas outfit. Thought that was so cute from Nicole. Then we have Kiki, who's just like a teddy bear in real life, right? Janice is so darling. I love seeing the dogs posed by the tree. And then this is Mackie, looks very proud of the family Christmas tree behind him. So thank you for sharing your babies with us. Big weather day. I know it's been calm so far, cloudy and a little bit of drizzle on radar, but moving into the second half of Sunday, we are turning it up a notch. We expect scattered rain this afternoon to turn widespread tonight. Overnight into tomorrow morning, the drenching downpours, the kind of rain that does at least provoke the threat for flooding with some gusty wind that could cause damage as well. There's so much to talk about in the AccuWeather forecast. I'll have that coming up. Cooperated. If it were tonight, it'd be a totally different story. But for open streets today, I know it's the final one on Fifth Ave. I think you got some dry hours. There's some drizzle out there. There's some cloud cover, but the real scattered rain that shows up as we head toward lunchtime later this afternoon. 49 degrees and cloudy right now. Looking at temperatures across the tri-state, this is the bright spot today. We start in the mid to upper 40s. We end in the mid 50s. That's 10 degrees above average. But no one is focused on the weather when we have this kind of forecast. A strong storm coming and is spreading rain and really gusty wind by tonight. Wanted to start with the radar here because we are seeing some spotty light areas of drizzle for eastern half of Suffolk County moving into Fairfield County near Bridgeport. It's not much. It might not even be reaching the ground at this point, but we continue to funnel in that moisture to the atmosphere today. And by the time this storm system lifts north and this front shifts further east, we're seeing heavy rain. So we watch those rain chances steadily increase throughout the day. As far as the severe weather risk goes, we are at a level 1 slight risk for these strong storms to turn severe as we move into tomorrow. But the primary threats remain. That's the heavy rain that can lead to flooding, which is why there's a flood watch in effect across the tri-state with a forecast of 2 to 4 inches. We also could see some coastal flooding. Watch out for that with the coastal flood advisory posted down the Jersey Shore as we move toward high tide tomorrow, 1.5 to 2.5 feet of inundation around high tide with the coastal flooding. And then also the wind. This is a big weather headline for this storm system. Starting tonight into tomorrow morning, our coastal communities could gust 50 to 60 miles per hour, and most of the tri-state could see gusts in the range of 40 to 50, which is why we have high wind warnings and wind advisories posted across the area as well. This is all associated with the same storm system that's on its way as we speak, but we still have a few more dry hours. You notice Futurecast keeps us mostly cloudy and drizzly through lunchtime. And then as we head toward 2 or 3, we start to see the radar light up, a few scattered showers. That continues through dinner time tonight. By 9 or 10, the scattered rain becomes much more widespread. And by midnight, that's when we're getting the heavy rain that's starting to set in. We expect the bulk of the moisture still between midnight tonight and 6 a.m. Monday morning. These rainfall rates at times could be 1 to 2 inches per hour. So that's what could prompt really that flood threat as we move into tomorrow morning. But I want to point out 6 a.m. tomorrow, we are still seeing pockets of heavy rain. And that, I think, is the difference between last week's storm event and this week's, is we're going to keep that heavy rain in play a little closer to the morning commute. So we're not going to see as much time for that floodwater to recede by rush hour like we did last Monday. So I think you need to plan ahead tonight. Give yourself a little extra time to get where you're going. There will be a lull in rain activity tomorrow, late morning, early afternoon, but it looks like scattered rain will return during the afternoon, and then finally that storm system moves on, moving into Tuesday as the cold air blasts in behind the storm system, which means we could see a few flurries as we head toward Tuesday, especially for our north and west suburbs. Got a top wind. We're looking at wind gusts by the overnight hours already in that 40 to 50 mile per hour range at the coast. And then look at these numbers moving towards sunrise tomorrow, 50 to 60 mile per hour gusts for our coastal communities. That really could produce damage. Montauk is reading is about 60 miles per hour heading toward 8:30 tomorrow morning. That on saturated ground can cause issues with the damage and with power lines. So really, we got to take it seriously. Even if you were okay with last week's storm, this is a new one. Although the threats seem to be about the same with the 2 to 4 inches of rain and a similar wind speed, you still got to just give yourself a little extra time to get where you're going tomorrow in case the impacts in your particular neighborhood are a little worse with that localized flooding threat. Here's the hour by hour today, and you do see the rain chance just steadily climb, right? So by the time we get to tonight, fairly widespread. Air quality is moderate, pollen is low, so weather wellness is fine. We're all focused on the rain. Mid-50s today, winds increase, rain chances increase, and then tonight that AccuWeather alert goes into effect with very gusty wind, very heavy rain, prompting flooding and the potential for wind damage. Tomorrow, it's a messy morning, and then we taper off those rain chances moving into the second half of our Monday. By Tuesday, we can wrap up the storm system. We settle into a quieter stretch with colder temperatures. Michelle?
All right. Raegan, what you got?
We got some favorite dogs over here for sure. We're
Oh,
start
sweeties.
with a couple of brothers. We got an African goose from Jen. How cute are they, right?
Top Gun.
It'd be so hard to keep a dog like that clean because they kind of look like a mop, but in a good way, like in a cute way. 'Cause those are darling
Yes.
dogs. So cute and fluffy. Then we have Bravo sitting next to his stocking waiting for Santa to arrive like all of us. Linda, thank you for sharing. And then we've got Noi. I mean, come on, in a Christmas sweater and matching hat. I just love seeing the dogs all decorated, dressed up, I guess, but really they're decorated as well. Today, the forecast focuses the storm system on the way. For now, it's gray and gloomy outside, but the rain hasn't become widespread. We'll see those scattered showers develop by this afternoon, and you see the rain chances just steadily climb heading into tonight. The worst of the weather arriving overnight into first thing Monday morning, which means a messy start to our Monday morning commute. I'll time it out for you on Futurecast in AccuWeather coming up.